Okay, so I wanted to react to the interview that Gassi had with the last Epoch devs, because I was watching his stream, but he said that the interview is in 4 hours, and by the time the interview started, right, I was so deep into progressing last Epoch that I didn't pay attention, and by the time I actually checked his stream, he was already like done with it, so I missed a lot of stuff, and basically I just want to check what the devs have come up with. So by the way, subscribe to Gassi. I like him a lot. So yeah, I mean, let me just pull this thing. Where is it? OBS? Let's see.
You might want to just go full screen, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably easier. Yeah.
Moment. That's the wrong one. Window capture.
By the way, there is a very vicious cat next to the camera, so probably I should be like shh, like those videos where people are like shh, like you can do something. But yeah, and the cat is sleeping here. Let's see if it's going to go crazy. It's a crazy cat. So what's this?
Quick, before someone stops.
It's an advertisement.
Stops us.
Yeah, I had to like take all of my idols out so I don't, leak anything.
Okay, your screen is now full screen.
And then I had to replace some of my items to not to just be the base set items because you can Anyways, okay, so World Reversal is now a combo ability that first it jumps forward in time, and then when you use it again, it goes back, and it does some melee attack on both cases. I think I'm just gonna unspec this so I can show you the default.
And by the way, I don't have any idea because like about skills and stuff like that, right? I haven't played last Epoch since they first released the game. I'm quite impressed with the game. To be honest, they've done so much like updates and stuff. They changed a lot. I can remember levels being glitchy and it's ridiculous, but so far I'm really impressed with what they've done, and I'm more about the mechanics and the end game stuff. I don't know about the skills and stuff like that, but
so the first, and then if I do second, it just slams backwards where I was. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and you can do some interesting stuff with it. For example, Devouring Orb has some cool new tech here, where you can consume all other orbs. So do I actually have it here? So if I just cast Devouring Orb here, normally if you cast another one, it's just there, but now it consumes the other one, and it does more damage, and it's bigger as a result. So one of the cool things here is that you can bring them with you. And that means that you can like pile them up into like this one big pile of stuff, and then it does a lot more damage.
Yeah.
And there's other interesting stuff, like you can actually make it not be a traversal skill. It still has a cooldown, but then you can use other abilities if you want. And there's just a bunch of interesting stuff here. So in the skill design, the base functionality, you have the first and the second one. So you have the ability to go back in time. So we can do stuff in that time period. For example, we can just provide you frenzy when you are between the first and the second. But if you want to, you can just remove the second combo altogether. So now you can actually just have it as a proper traversal skill that doesn't go backwards ever.
And that removes the possibility of staying with the frenzies, for example.
Yes, because you no longer have the ability to go backwards.
Exactly.
So what I like a lot is, that's my little Devouring Orbs. I put them back, and then we'll just there's some cool stuff there. What else?
Yeah.
You have so many changes here. Oh yeah, Sigils of Hope is no longer Sigils. It's now Symbols of Hope.
Symbols
for
of Hope.
some reason. Yeah.
For some reason.
And we completely changed the base functionality of it. So previously, you had basically three ways, since we introduced the unique. But for the vast majority of the time of the skill was, you cast it, it costs a lot of mana, and you have a duration for the sigil that give you some buffs. So now they just automatically generate over time. And then when you actually use the button, you get a defensive buff. And it consumes them. And then you wait them to get again. So
Okay.
you see here, I have 5. It shows 5 on the icon here because I used when I had 5, and now they just come back.
Start ramping up. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can like influence how fast they come back. I think here. And there's some other changes in the skill tree here, but the skill tree, like the overlay here, looks pretty much the same. But there's been some changes. Like for example, the Divine Flare. I think you can kind of maybe even make it an actual build now. You remove the defensive part of it, but now you don't have to generate the sigils anymore to then use Divine Flare. Now they are just generated, and then you just use Divine Flare instead. So it also saves you mana like that a lot. Other cool things. Vengeance, the first skill you get. I think the skill tree has changed a bit. Yeah, okay. So you can now convert it to Void.
So I guess they'll showcase just I guess this is this class, like the Paladin. I think it's the Paladin, right?
Which is kind of cool.
Oh.
We got a nice little scaler here that gives you a Fistpen with your extra overcap physical resistance. And I think if you convert this also applies to the other ones. So if you convert it to fire, it goes to fire. If you convert it to void, I think you have fire conversion. So
Get flights from £27 one way.
yeah,
You can, because there are no flights.
yeah, that too. You can turn your iron blades that nobody really used before into forge weapons now, and the iron blades can also be kind of useful. And there's some other stuff like buffing your erasing strike here. You're smashing your face against Abby with your vengeance to get your damage mitigation from vengeance, and then you smack it with the erasing strike and do more damage.
Yeah, don't
What
let me
else?
stop you. Keep going.
What else?
You can just hover over every node real quick.
Javelin.
for a few seconds.
Okay. Here's big. This is a big one. So previously, in the past, when you combined the Siege Barrage with Divine Fury, the Divine Fury, which is just adds like new, the PoE, D2 Lightning Fury. When you hit something, it just throws more stuff. So previously, these two did not work together. Well, that's changed. So now
Oh wow.
now it does work. So you can throw a lot of lightning with javelin now.
Jeez,
That looks
looks
amazing.
amazing.
Show me that one more
That's pretty
time.
good. Yeah,
For the people in the back need to see that again.
yeah. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that looks fun.
It helps a
And
lot.
now you can do
So now,
spear scaling with javelin is automatic, and as Forge Guard you can now do spear with a shield.
I'm not sure if I want to open my passive trees for you here.
Yeah, right. That's a minefield.
There's a lot of changes in there. So maybe we'll save that for future. Multi-strike can now
This
shotgun.
is great.
Yeah, it can shotgun now. So you have some really good single target with Bladestorm now, which is
That's beautiful.
it turned the skill into an actually really good skill now.
You're saying it was really bad, and now you actually made it good. Is that what you're saying?
It lacked on the single target. Like you couldn't invest into making it a really good for single target. You could do stuff like smite proc, stuff like that, but now you can actually make the skill do really good damage on its own. What else?
Any forge
There's
strike
so much.
stuff?
I've got void.
I think both Forge Strike and Smelter Spat are just better, basically.
Better.
Ring of Shields, yeah. Ring of Shields.
Also, on the side point here, it's interesting that I'm playing Last Epoch, right? And Last Epoch I'm using like a couple of skills, right? I'm using the decoy, Rain of Arrows, I think it was called, and my main skill that I use is one of the first skills. I don't know what it was, Flurry? I don't know. Anyway, and I'm a bow, right? I'm a ranger. But it's interesting that the game like makes you or use multiple skills. At least I use multiple skills, but it's not a chore to use multiple skills. In Path of Exile 2, for example, I don't know, for me it feels awful to use multiple skills, but in Last Epoch, right? It just, I don't know, I don't feel like this, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, there's like a flow. I feel okay with using multiple skills. It's like it makes sense. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know why in Path of Exile it's so strange. I wonder if it's because or maybe I, right, am accustomed from Path of Exile 1 to just rush and just use one skill constantly, and you just rush, right, and use one skill. And now they're trying to make you use multiple skills, and because you come from Path of Exile 1, it's a bit different now, the feel. But I don't know. So far I have no bad feelings for using multiple skills in Last Epoch, which is really, really good, I guess,
Shields, this node that nobody ever took, I think you might be able to do something with it, because Ring of Shield is a minion skill. I don't think many people know that, but it's a minion skill. And it had this fire damage for a time here, but nobody really used, but it might work now. We've done a lot of like small changes around Judgment, because one of the things with Volatile Reversal was that it was providing a lot of mana if you build it like that way. So there's like the Judgment mana dump build that you had to use Volatile Reversal to get mana back. So we capped how much mana you can actually consume without nerfing the damage. So it doesn't empty your mana pool like crazy anymore, which is kind of nice. And also it just does more damage.
Well, that's a nice neat change. It's a lot of quality of life in that.
Yeah, Shield Throw no longer has a cooldown as a baseline, which is kind of cool. It still has it so that you can only throw a shield at a time. So if your shield is still, ping-ponging between enemies, you can't throw another one. Okay. Well, now with 1 point, you can also remove that, so you can't just throw them as much as you want. Previously, this node, I think, required going through a lot of points to even get there. And if you still want to play it with the cooldown, you can do that and do more damage. And then it allows also now.
Gusto has the tastiest range of vegan and vegetarian recipes. So after a long day, it's great not
can chain off you, so you can do more single target damage with it if you want. And you can combine it with you could just be like a hybrid of shield throw and then something else. Use it on the cooldown and whatnot instead of just spamming the one skill.
So this is part of like the throwing niche, so you're like kind of setting into the Sentinel.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I think Shield Bash just does more damage. Oh yeah, one thing that people have been asking for a long time is Drive with Void Conversion. You have that now.
Nice.
There's a lot of changes around here.
So a lot of people love Spin to Win. What are the changes for Season 2 since we're opening up this can of worms? What's the changes to Warpath, if any?
I don't think there's too many changes on Warpath specifically. There's some buffs here and there, I think. Because Warpath is already good.
Yes.
Especially if you're playing that's a Void Knight with the echoes. And the masteries, just the changes to the passive trees are making it a lot better, regardless of how you play it, basically.
And you were not able to show the skill tree.
I'm probably already getting fired from showing this. Maybe I'll not get sued if I don't show them. But yeah, there's a lot of changes in the passive trees, and you'll definitely.
To some extent, I don't understand this whole idea of working for a game company but not being allowed to share anything. I get it, but at the same time you're trying to build hype. So it's like, how do you build hype without hyping? It's like, I don't know.
Learn about them. So yeah.
Yeah, we're learning right now. Like, I'm not gonna stop you. Anything else you want to show us?
Maybe we just show the heart shaker like this too. It's way cooler. Well, okay. When I do this, I need to go check that I don't actually leak anything there. So I'm gonna close my screen now, and Mike can talk about heart shaker while I set up my character. No, I'm gonna hide it from you.
Yeah, do that as well,
just in case.
Are there? Oh, it's too late.
So 1 second. Let me hop onto a marksman real quick.
There we go. You're off screen as well. Everything's set fine.
I have a lot of DMs in my Slack.
I bet. Thank you, by the way.
It is fine.
You know, one of my follow-up questions was about Sigil of Hope to get you talking about it, but you covered that already, so we're good.
Oh yeah, I have idols here that I am not showing. Okay.
So maybe when you're checking that, maybe we can have Mike elaborate a little bit on the part you said, Carve, where you said that Forged Guards is better. So I'm guessing my question would be Forged Guard and Manifest Armor. Maybe Mike could spill some beans on what Carve was meaning when he said they're better.
I mean, so a lot of the stuff with Forge Guard mechanically, we were actually pretty happy with where it's sitting and feeling, and but because it did lose some damage numbers from Volatile Reversal, we have buffed up some. There's some like, hey, this number's higher, this number's bigger. So there's not a lot of like huge mechanical changes other than the one huge passive node that has a lot of implications around around the basically every ability that it has.
The big thing for Forge Guard is the two-hander and a shield.
Yeah,
it allows you to do some cool things. One thing that
you couldn't take the Manifest Armor node where it gave it a sword, like a weapon and a shield, that you can only ever use a one-handed weapon with that. Now you can use a two-handed weapon. You can have your Manifest Armor clone a two-handed weapon and a shield at the same time. So like, yeah, there's a Manifest Armor buff right there from that node. So a lot of these like knock-on effects and things where like if you're doing like forged weapons and you're trying to use like shield scaling stuff at the same time, it wasn't really viable because you wanted to have a two-handed weapon for Manifest Weapon spawning. So there's that node has such huge implications and ripples across all of Forge Guard that it's like there wasn't a lot that needed to change without having it touch basically every tree. And at the same time, we did bump up some numbers as well.
That's fair.
And at least 2 uniques that we made for this patch had to be slightly looked again because Forge Guards don't exist now. So yeah.
So one of the questions I had as a follow-up for the Forge Guard menu specifically with Manifested Forge weapons is that it feels very one-dimensional on the terms of the aspect of playing minion builds with Forge Guard Mastery as a whole. So I guess the question I have, if there are any plans, whether they're for patch 1.2 or beyond, that will see Forge Guard minion play properly utilize the minions in a way that is more comparable to other masteries that also uses minions such as the Acolytes.
Yeah, so. We really want to keep the minion play.
It seems like they're buffing only melee or something. I don't know. It just sounds like
the gameplay feel
like
of minions to be unique and distinct from class to class. So like the really easy ones to talk about is companions versus like Primalist companions versus Necromancer minions. Yeah. And there's a really obvious difference the way we approach those. The companions can be revived. You have far fewer of them. The Necromancer minions are designed to be sacrificed literally with the ability to sacrifice. And so like that's really easy to look at them differently. And then the Forge Guard minions, it's a tricky thing to nail down an identity for it, and we kind of look at them almost like an extension of the character a little bit, and because they're so heavily tied to your gear. And because they're so heavily tied to your gear, the one thing people expect from them is them to actually mimic the unique effects that your gear has. And I think that's the key missing mechanical piece for forged weapons, which they still will not do in Season 2, I'm sorry. But we are looking to extract some of the essence out of those unique items that you want to capture for future stuff down the road.
Yeah, and just a random note. So there's this new ring that we added. I think it was in 1.1, maybe? Yes, Phantom Grip that had some interesting...
Mike seems so excited about what they're going to do in the future.
bug on it. And since we fixed that bug, we just gave a flat, really big buff, both damage and defense to forged weapons. So if you were one of those people who were having like really crazy setup with the ring in the bug form, you probably got nerfed a bit. But for everyone else, forged weapons are better. Like if you didn't have like crazy setup abusing the bug, your forged weapon should be better. This match. So also, I'm ready. I'm in Heartseeker right now. If you time.
Let me know when the stream's up, and I'll put it up back up.
It is up.
Me a second. You're full screen and ready to go.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting skill. Okay, so skill itself, the base functionality is as simply as you shoot an arrow to a target. It ignores everything on its way to whatever you were aiming, and then it hits that, and then it has a chance to hit it again. So basically it goes through it, comes back and hits again, and one of the key mechanics of this is to increase the recurve chance, so you can hit the same target with one use of the ability many times. So if you guys remember Guided Arrow from D2, in its glory, when it was able to pierce and hit the target multiple times, we basically just did that and added the skill tree.
Okay.
There's a very long, interesting discussion on a lot of design portion of this. One being how do we do the chance to hit the target multiple times? So in D2, you just have a pierce chance, right? And each percentage that you get is just way better than the previous. So if you go from 50% to 75% chance, and then you go from 75 to 100% chance, it's so much more powerful. So we didn't want to have this where it just every single point gets crazy good for multiple reasons. It makes it harder for us to provide the chance in gear and whatnot, because we have to be very careful to not allow you to hit like over 95% chance. We want there to be some volatility so that it's not always hitting 5 times every single time, or 6 times, or 7 times, or whatever. So we couldn't really go with a you have, the first one, like every single time you just pierce once, and then you invest into another pierce chance or stuff like that. So what we ended up being is every single time it successfully recurves, the next one, the chance is just multiplied by a number that keeps going down. So if you start with, I wonder if we have an example here. So let's say that you have 200% chance. You're guaranteed on the first to hit again. And then that 200% chance gets multiplied by 0.8.
So 160.
I'm not going to do math on stream here. Sorry.
160.
Yeah.
1.6.
So you just keep going down until eventually it's no longer a guaranteed chance. And now you run into this point where you have this chance to get like a really nice chain of getting multiple hits, or it just fails. So that's where the volatility comes from. Okay. And then we did a lot of cool stuff on the skill tree. But before I go there, do you have any questions on that?
No, I think that sounds like a really cool way to create that volatility without it feeling bad. I like that.
Yeah, we did a lot of math and simulations, and just probably somebody could go dig it up from some of our chats. But yeah, it was fun.
You maybe show it in action a little bit once you're.
Okay. So
Ghazzy is like pushing.
This is a base skill only, so I don't have much, but it's all. I have some gear that cool. Keeps me. So it's just it goes through the enemy and goes back and it hits again.
I mean, it looks cool. The question is it like tornado shot? Can you do it like with multiple projectiles?
One of the main reasons for this skill is that we didn't have like a strong, like a single target, like a physical based skill. We have the detonating arrow. We can't convert it to physical. So basically the only physical abilities are just flurry, puncture, and the multi-shot. And you can make multi-shot into a single target ability, but it's not really a single target ability by base. So that's what the Heartseeker.
So you're telling me if I drink this instead of coffee, that it's going to wake me up all the same, it's going to kick me into focus mode, make me feel like $1,000,000?
Yeah, you're going to win the lottery.
By its like basic design doing.
All right.
You can clear with it, For example, if you take this node, so we were talking about the chances on how many times it goes through an enemy. So we actually pre-calculate this. So if you kill an enemy and you have this node, for every additional chance it would hit the enemy, the additional time it would hit the enemy, instead puncture comes out. So if you, let's say that you had 10 hits, and you just one-shot the enemy on the first hit, you get 10 punctures just flying around to other enemies. So that's kind of that's basically the only node inside the skill tree itself that.
The question is he going to show it and then be like, I'm going to get sued?
Builds like AoE.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess another thing about the basic functionality: if the target dies, it will just find a new target to hit with the remaining recurves. I think that's really important. So it doesn't just like vanish. It'll seek another one to do damage to.
I don't know. This sounds like really. I don't know how it looks, but I'm imagining something like Tornado Shot, right? Where it just suddenly you can destroy the entire screen based on what he's saying, but I don't know how many projectiles and stuff like that, but I mean, in my mind, it just looks interesting, amazing, but
And is
maybe
it
it's not
screen
that.
wide or?
You can shoot it.
It's a very large
like the
range.
recurve retargeting.
Yeah, the
wow.
retargeting is very long range.
Okay.
It'll just keep hitting the same target, and then
Like
if it dies, I think the
one?
retarget it's probably like half a screen or something. I don't remember exactly how far, but it's pretty far. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could probably go find out by going into an area with some normal monsters that die. Then I can actually show this or two. But yeah, some other stuff. So obviously we have some just base, recurve chance. And then we talk about the volatility. So this is a cool node because this just sets it so that it'll never go below 66%. So this allows it to potentially go for some crazy amount of hits.
Yeah.
And then obviously we had to put a deck scaler there. So stack decks and you get more recurve chance. We got cold conversion, and we mentioned about the frostbite. So there's some frostbite support on Rogue there. You can convert it to fire, obviously. We have decent amount of bleed and poison support. Like for example, here you can convert your armor shred into poison chance. It kind of reminds, I think Rune Master has armor shred to frostbite chance. So we got that there. Yeah, obviously we have the crit hit based stuff here, and then you can combine these. So you can go gold crit, you can go fire crit if you wanted to. For example, Dragon Song with the crits, or you could do Rhino Winter. As you can see, they're proccing there. They're proccing a lot.
They're proccing a lot, yeah.
You can do some fun stuff here. You can make it into mana generator. Because the base mana cost, I have a bow that reduces my mana cost.
I'm so excited for this skill.
Yeah, it has a pretty low base mana cost. Obviously, you can increase it with some of the passives that Rogue has, but you can just also turn it into the mana scaler. There's some cool stuff here. You can change how the. I should probably put bow back on. As you can see how the
visual pattern.
Yeah, it changes the visual here because this was another thing we debated a lot. Is how should it look like when it recurves back? Because this looks really cool when it goes like that, but not everyone liked it. So that's why we just put it into a node instead. And it has a slow chance there, so it's not entirely just for the theme, but yeah.
All right.
I really want to show you this, so let me.
Knock yourself out. I mean, it's fun. You got a handful of more questions before we're done. Just take your time. Don't worry about it.
We got time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Go for it.
Guess he's like, yeah, get sued.
Just want to show you the page function right there. Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. I don't.
I should probably do.
Wait.
Specialized puncture too, even.
I don't need to do that, but
Oh
So you
wow!
see some punctures are flying
Jesus
off here.
Oh my god! I'm going to play this.
Obviously, this is pretty weak enemies, so but this is a way to build it.
Like when Path of Exile, right? When I first started Path of Exile 2, I mean, it was so annoying because I felt like I could not target more than one monster at a time. And even with Lightning Arrow, it's like I had to hit a monster 7-8 times from what I counted, right? Until it dies. And it was really annoying because it's like you have 10 monsters and you can kill, let's say with Lightning Arrow, you can kill like 2, maybe 3, right? Depends. I don't even remember. I haven't played it, right? So I don't even remember what it was. But it's like you have to waste couple 7-8 shots on those 2-3 monsters, let's say 3 monsters, and then there are another 6 left, right? So you have to stay there and pull this bow and just wait and kill them, and it's like, oh my god. And for me it's like I don't mind if it's slow or like the campaign if it's long, but if it's not fun, if the skill that I'm using it's not fun to use it, it becomes like this chore, because now you have a long campaign, you have a lot of monsters, you're not doing damage, because back then, now allegedly they updated it, right? But back then when I started, you could not find any weapons, you could not upgrade, right, your character, and then you have this skill that doesn't basically do anything, and all this thing just compiles, and you were like, why am I wasting my time? I can just go and do something else with my time. But this thing looks absolutely fun to play with, so I can't wait to test it out. Yeah, this looks fun.
And then I guess another cool thing, there's a unique quiver that I don't currently have here that converts puncture to cold currently in the game. What it does not do currently.
Oh no, he's flying.
It doesn't convert the.
By the way, what do you think, in your opinion, like what makes? Because I read the comments, people when they leave a comment, and some people are like Last Epoch sucks, blah blah is boring. Some people are like Path of Exile is boring and stuff like that. And I was thinking, today actually it hit me, because when I play Path of Exile 1, it feels like better. I think it feels better because it looks more realistic, like, and Last Epoch has this thing of, I don't know how to describe it, like it mixed, they're trying to make it look real but not real, I don't know how to explain it. But Path of Exile 1, right, and Path of Exile 2, it seems like they're trying to make everything look more realistic, everything has proportion, stuff like that. While here it's like fantasy mixed with realism, but the realism is like it's there but it's not there. I don't know how to explain it. It's just this weird feeling, and I'm like, maybe that's why people don't like Last Epoch, right? Because it just looks in like this different way. But I don't know, for me it's like it's a good game, if I judge it based on the game itself, it's a good game. But when we start comparing stuff, it's like, I don't know, it's like you playing Last Epoch and then going to Mario and be like, well, Mario doesn't have, double jump like Last Epoch or whatever, like people say, this doesn't, it's not the same like Path of Exile. Yeah, it's not the same because it's a different game. So
Bleed chance from Bloodthirst, the Frostbite, but it does in Season 2. So you can do a Frostbite, Puncture plus Heartseeker stuff if you want.
Feels good.
So how are you gonna
I should show how the conversion here.
How are we gonna make other builds compete with this type of clear speed?
yeah, true.
To be fair, we are in like the lowest.
Yeah. So here's the cold converted one.
Oh, so when you don't have a target to hit, it's just gonna bounce back and forth where you aimed.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could actually stack up a bunch of arrows before a boss becomes attackable.
Yeah, and then there's a fire.
That looks fantastic.
You can also turn this into a throwing ability. You actually show that on the trailer. It comes from a unique that I don't currently have.
It's a triggered throwing ability at that point, isn't it?
Yeah. So you don't actually throw it yourself. It just comes from the unique. But you have some interesting support here for throwing and spell builds. For example, the Dragon song that I was showing earlier. And this is interesting because this scales with how many times you recurve. So there's a reason for you to stack the recurve as much as you can, because you just want the buff to go as high as you want, right? Yeah. And it also keeps throwing. So this is where you could also use this as support kill for some throwing marksman build, maybe that those exist as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff in Heartseeker.
And it is really important to note that this is a marksman specific ability. You cannot use this on Falconer or Blade Dancer.
Yes, this is only for marksman. Yep.
So it's past the chain, basically, is what you're saying.
I think it's a 30 point.
It's 30 points,
I would look at the game, but then I would show the skill tree, and I don't want to.
It's all good. I
don't think there's a lot of changes for the passives on marksman though, but yeah, it's locked to marksman.
Let's not get you sued. We appreciate the showcase. I did have a question though regarding like extra skills past the chain, right? We know there's one lacking for the Lich, and we know there was one missing for the Paladin. Is that still the case for season 2?
I mean,
yes.
Looks
the
amazing.
only brand new ability
fun.
for season 2 is Heartseeker.
Wait.
Yes, the only brand new ability for.
Oh, fuck, I missed it again.
Season 2.
Yes, the only brand new.
It comes with the marksman. What level would that be? 30? So it's quite early actually. Based on this, yeah, 30. If it's the same, right? I assume it's the same, like this row, it's 30, this 35. So 30 is not bad actually. I'm still playing with this Cinder Strike. I have like Life Leech and stuff. I'm basically almost like immortal, to be honest, unless I start playing with a cat here and stuff like that.
Ability for season 2 is Heartseeker, and it's a doozy. There's Volatile Reversal is essentially a new skill because it's so heavily reworked. But yeah, the only new one is Heartseeker. We are still looking to I know what we as a team, we know what the I love this build. Sorry, getting distracted by card playing.
Save £70 on the Vax Spot Wash Home Pet Design. Perfect for cleaning up after furry friends.
Especially for me, like I play Rangers, right? So
we know what the abilities that are going to go in those slots are going to be, and we have started working on some of those new abilities for future updates.
That sounds amazing. I mean,
okay, I'm going to leave it here. You can go and watch the entire thing with Ghazzy, right? Give him a sub. He's a cool guy. I like him a lot. But so far, what I've seen, especially for the Ranger class, right? Yeah, I mean, it just looks fun. It just looks fun to play, and I mean that's what we want, right? Some interesting, fun skills that we can actually, use and have some fun, because gaming is, I don't know, for me gaming is a relaxing way to enjoy my time, right? So if I don't have fun, why am I playing a game? Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Enjoy your day. Let me know what you think about, I guess, what you see, because there is a lot of stuff that we didn't see, but I don't know, it looks like there is going to be quite a lot of people playing Last Epoch, and it's going to be quite interesting. So anyway, have fun.